pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Burcroft, Madam Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, and audience. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, April 2nd, 2018. And at this time, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barton.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Webb.
Here.
And Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Tonight's council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda, 2, minutes, 3, petitioner, 4, chairperson's report, 5, mayor's report, 6A, clerk's report, 6, treasurer's report, 7, public comment, 8, 9, new business, 10, communication, and number 11 is adjournment, and a motion be in order to accept the council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe for approval of agenda as presented. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Number 2 are the minutes. For approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held on March 26, 2018. A motion would be in order.
We'll move for March 26, 2018.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting, which was held March 26, 2018. Mr. Wadsworth. Ms. Abdo.
Abstain.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
2B, for approval are the minutes from the special meeting held on Monday, March 26, 2018. This was a closed session to discuss an attorney opinion, and then there was an open session this, regarding an updated support emergency operations plan. Motion would be in order to accept those special meeting minutes.
So moved.
Support.
A motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the minutes from our special meeting held March 26, 2018, which was a closed session, attorney opinion, and open session updated support emergency operation plan. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
There are no petitioners on the agenda. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The chair doesn't have anything to report tonight. I just hope everybody had a nice Easter, and glad everybody is doing okay right now, and happy Easter. And go Michigan. That concludes my report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Tonight I brought in a quote that kind of ties to our budget process we're going into, and it goes as this. This is from Frederick Douglass. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. And I thought that was perfect for the budget as you received your preliminary budget on the 1st, and we'll be going through a series of study sessions and public hearings as well, but still some work to do. Tonight I do have Dennis Davidson to do a live report. Dennis, come on up.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Right now, it's kind of the quiet before the storm, but on April 14th, everything starts to happen. St. John's Lodge will hold their annual prayer breakfast at the Wayne Tree Manor on the 14th, starting at 9 a.m. Also on the 14th, Free Earth Day celebration will be held at the Rack. On Saturday, the 14th, it's being called Eco Fair 2018, will feature eco-friendly vendors and will run from 10 a.m. till 2 in the afternoon. And then later on in the afternoon, it will be the Romulus Police presenting Pucks for Pets as they take on the Detroit Red Wing alumni at the Taylor Sportsplex. Tickets are on sale and available at the Romulus Police Department for $10 in advance or $15 at the door. Proceeds will go to the Romulus Animal Shelter. Then later on that evening, a spaghetti dinner will be held at the Progressive Hall, and that's being put on by Rolling Thunder. The event is sponsored by Rolling Thunder and will benefit the Veterans Organization. The event runs from 5 to 8 p.m. Romulus Cemetery Board will host a spaghetti dinner at the Romulus VFW post on Friday, April the 20th. Proceeds will help purchase a new engraved headstone for Medal of Honor winner awardee Charles Kowetska. The annual citywide clean sweep will be held Saturday, April 21st. Kickoff will be at 9 a.m. All volunteers should report to the Senior Center. This year's Chamber of Commerce Person of the Year honoree is Reverend William Kren. He will be honored with a banquet on April the 27th at the Radisson Hotel. You can call the Chamber for tickets on that. And lastly, the Romulus Rotary Club presents a tribute to the legends as they step back in time, featuring musical greats from the 50s and 60s. The event will be held at the VFW Hall on April the 28th. Tickets are $160 for a table of 8, $25 for an individual. Tickets are on sale at the Chamber of Commerce office. No tickets will be sold at the door. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Just have a few items under my own report for action. First one up is a request that came through Suzanne Marino, Finance Service Director, and this is to concur with the administration and approve the attached Form 5583 application of waiver and Planned Public Act 202 of last year for the defined benefit pension retirement system, and this was also discussed in our training a little bit earlier.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and approve Form number 5583, application of waiver and Plan Public Act 202 of 2017, defined benefit pension retirement systems.
Support. It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, and that was to concur with the administration and approve the attached Form number 5583, application of waiver and Public Act 202 of 2017, defined benefit pension retirement system. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. The next item is also a recommendation that came through Suzanne Marino, Financial Service Director. And this is to concur with administration and approve the attached Form 5584 application of waiver and Public Plan Act 202 of last year. This is for the retiree health benefit system portion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for the review of the application for waiver and plan of Act 202 of 2017.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, to concur with the administration, approve the attached Form number 5584, application of waiver, and Planned Public Act 202 of 2017, retiree health benefit systems. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. Next item up is a similar request that we approved last year. This has gone through legal counsel, and it's a motion to concur with the administration and authorize the use of Elmer Johnson Softball Field B and St. John's Lodge Field by Summit Academy for their team's practices with a no-fee permit, but in exchange, allow them to donate the repairs and updates to the field which are needed. The season will begin April 3rd of this year and run through May of this year.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to allow Summit Academy and baseball, park baseball softball field updates and usage. Season begins April 3rd, 2018, and runs through May 2018.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley. This is for the Summit Academy Parks Baseball Softball Field updates and usage. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The last item is just the introduction of a budget amendment. It's a request to concur with administration, introduce Budget Amendment 17/18-30, additional funds needed for excessive repairs on the Pinewood Storm Pump Station. That's in Oakwood Special Assessed District.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and introduce Budget Amendment 17/18-30, additional funds needed for extensive repair to the Pinewood Storm Pump Station in the Oakwood Special Assessment District.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, and that is to concur with the administration and introduce Budget Amendment 17/18-30, additional funds needed for extensive repair to the Pinewood Storm Pump Station in Oakwood Special Assessment District. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my report.
Welcome.
6A is the clerk's report. 6A1 for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 1718-27. This is the E-Course and Binding Road Debt Service. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of March 26, 2018.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 17/18-27 for the E-Course and Binding Road Debt Service.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb. Second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 17/18-27 for the E-Course and Vining Road Debt Service. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A2 for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 1718-28, Community Development Block Grant. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of March 26, 2018.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 17/18-28, Community Development Block Grant. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Abdo?
No.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A3 for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 1718-29, General Fund. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of March 26, 2018.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 17/18-29 for the general fund.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb, for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 17/18-29 for general fund. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And the last item under the clerk's report is 6A4, unsold tax foreclosed properties for year 2017 dated March 26, 2018. The Property Disposition Committee is respectfully requesting that City Council concur with their recommendation that the City of Romulus not acquire any of the properties included on the Wayne County Treasurer's unsold tax foreclosed properties for year 2017, dated March 26, 2018, due to the fact that none of the properties are adjacent to existing city-owned property.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the Property Disposition Committee request.
Support.
It's been motion, been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Talley. The unsold tax foreclosure properties for year 2017 dated March 26, 2018. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Williams.
I would like to ask the mayor, on that property that's located at 11325 Whitehorn. Is that actually a property or a vacant, is it a home there or vacant land?
No, I can find out. I'm not on the property disposition committee, so I can't speak for them. They review the properties and make a recommendation, but I can sure find out. Your question is it vacant or does it have a home?
Yes, because it says not occupied, but looked to try to find that, and it looked like a vacant lot.
It could be.
So was this property, was a home there and the city demolished it, or?
I can find out. These are properties that come back from the county. They take a look at and decide if they want to take action on. I can't speak for the committee, but I'll be happy to go back, and that was 11325?
Yes.
Whitehorn? Okay.
It says on here, it's a structure
A
not
structure
occupied.
It could be a
unoccupied.
structure, it could be no one in it, but I don't know.
Not occupied.
Okay, Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
No.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. I do not have anything to report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment. Individuals who would like to address city council must raise their hand, and when recognized by the chair, approach the podium and state their name and address. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes, subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes by consent of the chair. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. Anyone not adhering to this rule shall lose their right to address city council. A response to any of your questions and/or concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business, only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. Mr. Chair, we do have one written request,
Okay.
and we have Mr. Leander Richmond. The location is 46477. Thank you. You can exit the podium.
Hello.
Hi.
I actually have something for all of you. I don't know if I'm allowed to approach you and
Sure.
sit out.
You
No,
can
we'll
pass it
pass
around,
it.
and that way you can. Thank you.
I have it all memorized. Is everyone here familiar with Michigan's frost law?
Basically.
Frost law has been around in this state prior to Public Act 300, which went into effect in 1949. 1949, they started posting signs each frost law season everywhere the frost law was in effect. Technological advances through the years have made it possible for each county to plug the ground to determine when the frost is no longer a threat to the roadway. They then lift the effective date of the frost law in that section of the state. This created a communication gap. 2006, they started discussing it. 2008, they added a requirement that all frost laws, seasonal weight restrictions, be posted on the website. For some reason, the Wayne County Waymaster took it upon himself to instruct the traffic engineers, which he does not have the authority to do, to stop posting those signs. Unfortunately, that didn't stop the police departments from enforcing the weight restrictions. So what we have going on is, and I own a trucking company, okay, one of my trucks did receive a ticket. The fine at that particular incident was $5,800. These are not small citations that they're issuing. They are targeting trucks on these roads with no signs. Let me back up a little bit. Frost law signage is regulatory. Regulatory signage is the highest grade of signs. Excuse me. I apologize. I did not wear a coat, so my throat is extremely dry. Frost law signage is a regulatory sign. It's the highest level of signage that is available to the state in the Michigan Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which actually regulates all of this. I wanted you to have that information first. This year, for 2 weeks, each day, I went down Hannon Road. My office is not located very far from there. And each day, at least once, and I have it on my dash cam, I witnessed at least one truck pulled over. I watched Romulus police officer, actually one day there was 3 of them on that road, pull into the trailer park home there, sits right in the driveway. As soon as the truck turns, just gets right behind him, pulls him over. It's a gravel train. He knows he's gonna be overweight. It's unfair. They themselves, if they were truck drivers out making a living, they understand and they know that it is an unfair expectation that a person would know about a seasonal weight restriction without it being posted. How's a guy from Texas supposed to know that we have seasonal weight restrictions up north? And then he has to go to a website and find it? But furthermore, they had no right, at least I hope to prove this soon, they had no right to take the signs down, okay? Romulus, Dearborn, Huron, a few other cities, their numbers have gone up. I filed FOIA requests in quite a few of those cities over the past few years, and I'm watching the trend and the numbers of these tickets go up. It's a revenue gaining venture. I don't know if that was the intent by Wayne County, but that's certainly what's happened. Personally, I think it needs to be stopped. People have a right to notice. I'm this close to finding that little piece of law that states that regulatory signs must accompany. There is, MCL 257.606 actually states that when enforcing a weight restriction in your city, the law is not enforceable until the signs exist. All of the cities that are enforcing this, and I've had this discussion with quite a few of them, at least the police departments, they all say, well, that's this law. The Frost law is over here. A seasonal weight restriction is nothing but a weight limit on commercial vehicles. MCL 257.726 states that all weight limits on commercial vehicles, which that right is given to the city or county or community to establish and enforce, shall be enforced with signage. The 2008 change did not address signage. In the pamphlet that I handed out, near the back, there's some documentation directly from the state that discusses why that change went into effect. There was no mention of signage whatsoever. Every other county in this state, except Jackson, and I checked, they all post the signs. Wayne County does not, Jackson County does not. Jackson County does not post the signs, but their enforcement is a little more unique. The first time you get a warning, the second time they go talk to your company, the third time you get a ticket. So I don't know what is within your power to do about this. I've discussed this with the Romulus Police Department 2 years ago. You got the same thing I get from everyone else. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience?
Mr. Chair, we have a second request.
Oh, second
to it.
request.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's from a Kimberly Hill Knott.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
City council members and others. My name is Kimberly Hill Knott, and I am running for Congress in the 13th Congressional District. My catchphrase is bringing government to the people because you matter. I worked in Congress for over 10 years under Congressman John Conyers. I'm probably one of the few who have federal legislative experience. And I was able to see firsthand the resources that were not brought to the district, and districts really throughout the country and throughout the state of Michigan. And so when we look at Congress, oftentimes we're inundated with news about what is not being done. Some of the challenges with laws not being passed, those that are passed. But there are so many resources in Washington, D.C. That need to be brought to the district, and I am a candidate who can actually do that. So bringing government to the people is very important because we see the needs, the infrastructure needs, the job needs, the educational needs, and this is actually my platform. I will be focusing on economic development, education, energy and environment, public health, and foreign policy. Most of my background is in the area of environmental justice and climate change. I am known throughout the country for my work on developing the city of Detroit's, or leading the development of the city of Detroit's first climate action plan, which was a very collaborative initiative. And so what that process and what that project taught me is the importance of collaborative leadership, but not only the importance of it, but really how to do it. And so working in Washington, D.C., working in the congressional district, working as an entrepreneur, handling government relations and community relations, and then being hired as director of policy at the oldest environmental justice organization in the state of Michigan has allowed me to see a lot. And so I would just love to hear more about the needs of Romulus, what you would like to see from a member of Congress, and particularly focusing on the issues that I just mentioned. We don't know if the infrastructure bill would pass, but wouldn't it be nice if an infrastructure bill focused more than just on roads and bridges? Wouldn't it be nice if we had an infrastructure bill that focused on upgrading our water system?
Yes.
Upgrading our electrical grid so we won't have all of these power outages? Upgrading our transportation system, looking at the issue of mobility. How many people in our communities do not have access to transportation? So when we look at reverse commuting, how many of our people, our residents, actually live in places where they do not work and may not be able to afford auto insurance because you're paying 2 car notes for 1 car? What about an infrastructure bill that looks at energy efficiency, microgrids, so that we can allow more of our residents to have control over energy generation? And so when you look at energy efficiency, that's also under attack with the LIHEAP program. So you're looking at many of our residents within the 13th Congressional District, and districts really throughout the state of Michigan experience energy poverty, where you're paying 2 mortgages for 1 house. And so as a member of Congress, that's also one of the issues that I plan to focus on, to make sure that we are able to bring jobs here. We're able to address the skills gap. In the state of Michigan, there are over 106,000 jobs that are available. But there's a problem with the unemployment rate, the unreported unemployment rate being so high, with 106,000 jobs that are actually available. This information is actually on the state of Michigan's website. And so we have a real issue with skills gap. How do we address the skills gap? How do we work with members of Congress, state government, and local government to bring the resources that our communities need, that our cities need, to really put our people back to work, and to not only put them back to work, but to give them good livable wages. And so anyway, so those are the issues that I will be focusing on, and more than willing to meet with anybody to further discuss my platform and to learn more about your interest and what you would like to see from a member of Congress. Again, my name is Kimberly Hill Knott. Thank you, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Those are the only written requests, Mr. Chair.
Are there any other comments from the audience? Ms. Walker?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Sharon Walker.
I live on Gabriel Street here in Romulus. One of the items that was brought before you this evening was the preliminary review of applications for waiver and plan, Act 202 of 2017, Retiree Health Benefit Systems. Now, I got a chance today, earlier today, to talk to Suzanne, and she assured me that it was just an application. This is not something that's gonna reduce or do anything to the retirees' health benefits, I hope. I was satisfied that it's just an application, and it was put into effect in December of 2017. I wasn't able to get here for the meeting earlier, and I understand that you discussed it. So if I could maybe talk to the mayor's office or something to find out how far this is going to go. Because, you know, I talked to a few retirees, and I am in touch with a lot of them. And we just need to know that our health care is safe.
John?
Yes, Mr.
I know
Wadsworth.
we're not supposed to respond right now, but Sharon, I'm a member of that board. I'm a retiree myself, obviously. And Suzanne, since I've been there, is working in the best interest of the retirees. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? No other comments from the audience. We'll close that part out, Madam Clerk.
All right, number 8 is unfinished business.
John, just a quick, if I can.
Yes.
May the 11th, the Romulus Bowl-a-thon, Friday night, May the 11th, all the funds go right to the shelter. There's still a few spots. You can sign up at the bowling alley. I'm still looking for folks that want to donate prizes to the event. Everybody that bowls gets a prize, and all the funds go directly into the shelter. The mayor's paying for the pizza, and the bowling alley doesn't charge us 10 cents.
John?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment on the Frost law. I know that he had stated, I wish that we had just had this discussion during this time. He had stated that, Mr. Richmond had stated that we didn't have signs, and how fair was that for, you know, someone coming from out of state? The only reason that I'm commenting is that I did see signs. The state, when you drove in from Ohio, they had them on their electronic signs, Frost law in effect. I saw it 3 or 4 times just driving up, 75 to 275. I don't know if it's the local responsibility, but I do know that drivers coming in were very well aware of the Frost law because it was everywhere on the electronic signs.
Mr. Chairman, on that issue, and I asked Roberto to get the information so we can work with our police, I can't comment on the county. I love when they have signs up. So if they took them down or if they not, I can't comment on that. We encourage signage. I can tell you this, the Romulus Police Department, through my office, receives a lot of complaints on Hannon Road about large trucks. So we're not camping out there, but if we get requests from our residents, they have to do their duty and go out and enforce whatever laws. They may be speeding, they may be other, but I know we get an awful lot of complaints on hand in particular that was mentioned. So we'll check into it and we'll make sure that someone more recent has contact with this petitioner and also tries to communicate with Wayne County. But that's really, I can't speak to that as far as Wayne County versus other counties. I like signage. Tell people what's expected. I think you're going to get more people to comply. So we'll be happy to try to work with the gentleman and provide that information. Thank you.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would like to also comment on that concern. From what I heard, that he was concerned that the signs wasn't on the particular roads that they were driving up the trucks. So I appreciate you having Roberto talk with him, and I know you'll get down to the bottom of it, Mayor. Thank you.
John?
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I just want to piggyback off what the mayor said. During the campaign season, that was one of the main complaints of the residents of Hannon Road with the trucks. And we have to be aware of what our residents feel. So if the police are patrolling Hannon Road, it's because we want them to.
It's not all overweights, I guarantee. A lot of our complaints are other
Yeah,
violations
I
also.
see it
but-
all the time.
But just so you know, we're not just camping out there. We do try to, put enforcement where we have violations, which makes sense.
that's where we have it.
It's not about the revenue to us. I can't speak to other municipalities, but that's all we're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any more unfinished business?
John, I just, Mayor, are we doing weights and measures again? We're getting out with the scales on these trucks?
We have one that has the ability, but primarily the county is the one doing most of the weight enforcement.
And this gentleman was ticketed by us?
I'm not sure. We'll find out. Was it Wayne County? Okay, so we'll find out who actually did the violation. The part that's interesting is, my understanding of the law, the overweights that get written, actually, the violations and fees go to the libraries, which doesn't help fix our road issue. You'd think that you would have a penalty or a fine, a penal fine that would go to fix the problem, and it doesn't, but that's Lansing's issue. But I know that they do have at least one active county weighmaster that's, out enforcing the frost laws and other violations.
And one other comment, as a retired police officer, if the signs aren't there, I don't know how they can enforce the law, but I guess that his avenue would be take the ticket to court, or, and have the judge rule on it. Thank you.
Well, normally it's too late, but I'm gonna give you the privilege today, okay? You sure? Oh, okay. You're welcome.
No more unfinished business. Number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Talley?
I just wanted to bring, I know it's a lot going on with budgets and everything that surrounds budget talks and everything, but, and I hope this is appropriate, but I just wanted to bring up, several weeks ago, several people from the city of Romulus went to the State of the County address with Warren Evans, and one of the things when we were down there was encouraging to see that in several of his slides where Romulus was really highlighted. They highlighted our senior center. There were some residents from Romulus that attend the senior center regularly. Marie Charles, Betsy Butler, Pearlie Dupree. These are just several that I saw in the slide of our Wayne County executive presentation. And so our senior center was highlighted, and then other things that were highlighted were major projects going on in this Wayne County. And four projects were highlighted, and 3 of those projects are in the city of Romulus. We have Amazon, we got Penske, and then there was a nice slide of our mayor with the Mopar project. So I just want to say that I'm just excited about what's going on in the city of Romulus. And I know when we were out campaigning, it was like moving the city forward. And I'm just excited about the 34th District Court project going on. We have a lot going on in our city. So I just thought our residents should know that the state of the county, Warren Evans' presentation had a lot of highlights to Romulus. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
Okay, if there's no more communication, all right, number 11 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Williams, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.